Welcome to Smell of Page. The Treasure Box, written by Sarojini Sinha. Chapter 11. The night sky was clouded over, and it was darker than ever. Govind, Bola and Anandram strolled through the city of tents, where the British officers and men slept. There were sentries on guard at several points, but Anandram knew where they were and dodging behind tents, avoiding them. The sentries too were inclined to be careless because they were sure no enemy could penetrate the camp. So without much difficulty, Anandram and the boys reached Bell of Arms. The building stood at a little away from the tents, and Anandram whispered, "We will have to run to the Bell of Arms when I give the signal." The sentry must have heard something because he shouted, "Halt! Who goes there?" Anandram and the boys froze in the shadow of a tent. Seeing no one and hearing nothing, the sentry relaxed. "Go ahead, Bola," Anandram urged softly. "We will be right behind you. Now run." Bola ran as fast as he could, and before the sentry knew what was happening, threw the jelly powder right on his eyes. The scream that rose in his throat was stifled by Govind, who jumped on him and brought him down. Together they rolled on the ground, struggling. Anandram grabbed the sentry's musket and brought its butt firmly down on his head. Within a second, Anandram had taken the duster from Govind and gagged the sentry. He then searched his pocket for the key, but could not find it. "Never mind," he whispered. "I'll open the door with the knife." He inserted the kitchen knife under the latch and twisted it until it gave way. They pushed the door open and rushed in. "Who's there?" Abdul Aziz Khan asked in a weak voice. "It's Govind, Abdul." "Thank you, God. You are alive." Anandram struck a match and they could see Abdul lying on the ground. He used the knife again to cut the rope which the prisoner was tied with. "Come on, get up. We must leave quickly," he urged. Abdul groaned. "I'm so stiff, I can't get up." Govind and Bola kneeled and rubbed his ankles and feet, while Anandram kept saying, "Quick, we mustn't waste time." But now the sentry was struggling and grunting, so they pulled Abdul to his feet and helped him hobble out. A whistle sounding somewhere acted as a spur. "Follow me," whispered Anandram, hurrying into the darkness. The boys ran stumbling after him. After what seemed like ages, they reached the thatched huts where the servants lived. There was no sound of pursuit. Anandram said, "I think we are safe." He led them to the footpath leading to the jungle and cautioned, "Hide in the jungle. As soon as it is done, make your way to Delhi. I shall return to my hut." The three hid in the jungle, waiting for daybreak. Then they hastened to the peepul tree, under which the horses had been tethered. The horses were missing, but Bola's pony was grazing nearby. Whoever had stolen the horses had not bothered about the pony. Govind was sad he had lost his horse, but there was nothing he could do about it, nor was there time to go searching for the animals. Abdul said, "Take the pony and ride to Delhi. We will follow on foot." Abdul would not agree, but Govind was firm. "Look, don't argue. The Angries know you and will recognize you because they caught you as a spy. You were their prisoner for a whole day. If they find you, they will shoot you, but no one is likely to recognize us. And even if we are caught, they won't shoot us because they have nothing against us." When Abdul still hesitated, Govind raised his voice. Don't waste time, Abdul. They will soon be looking for you. Remember, we risked our life to save you. Abdul realized he was right. He got on the pony and rode off. Govind and Bola hid in the jungle, wet and hungry. In the evening, they started walking towards Delhi. The British did not make much of an effort to catch the escaped prisoner because they knew that bands of sepoys were roaming the countryside around Delhi. Govind and Bola joined one such group and reached Delhi safely. Abdul was overjoyed to see them. But for Bola and you, he said, I would be dead by now. Tell me, said Govind, how did you get caught? It was foolish of me, Abdul said sheepishly. I picked up a quarrel with one of the shopkeepers and called him a traitor because he was selling goods to the Firanges. I too was on the point of shouting at Kuber Chand, admitted Govind, but I checked myself in time. Abdul continued. The quarrel attracted a crowd and some Firangi soldiers came to find out what it was all about. They caught hold of me and took me to a senior officer. I don't know what they said, but I found myself being hustled into that circular building and locked in. Later, I was told I was to be shot as a spy. Had it not been for you, fellows, it would have been all over with me. The three of them went to Mirza Yunus Khan and told him what had happened on the ridge. They gave him the information they had got from Anand Ram. Bravo, boys! I'm indeed proud of you. Govind's heart swelled with pride. Here he was being complimented by no less a person than Mirza Sahib himself for what he had done. Only the other day he was openly skeptical of what boys like him could do for the cause of freedom. A couple of days later, they heard that Anand Ram had been arrested, found guilty of treason and shot. Govind, Bola and Abdul grieved for the brave man. Without his help, they would never have been able to rescue Abdul. About the same time, a spy from Firozpur confirmed the information Anand Ram had given them. A siege train had left for Delhi. It was 10 kilometers long and consisted of 653 bullock carts laden with 20,000 sandbags and heavy powder barrels. The big field guns were drawn by elephant, but the ground was so wet and slushy that the guns often sank in the mud, and even the elephants found it difficult to pull them out. So the convoy was expected to take a month to reach Delhi. That gave people of Delhi sufficient time to take steps to meet the impending British onslaught. But alas, the commander-in-chief Bukht Khan and Prince Mirza Mughal were for quarreling among themselves. Each accused the other of being a coward and capable of facing the Firanges. Bukht Khan kept saying he would not allow the siege train to reach Delhi. Oh, taunted Prince Mirza Mughal. So you and your brave men will reach to Firozpur to destroy the siege train, won't you? Why should we march to Firozpur? I shall destroy the siege train when it approaches Delhi. Brave words, mocked Prince Mirza Mughal. If you destroy the siege train, it will be the first success to your credit. Bukht Khan scowled because what the prince said was true. He had not succeeded in restoring order and discipline among the sepoys. There was no money to pay them, and they went about plundering the villages around Delhi. So he decided to act. He went to the emperor and said, Your Majesty, how can my men fight when they haven't received their pay for a long time? The emperor gave the men some money from his treasury as part of payment of their wages. 8,000 men under Bukht Khan rode out to stop the siege train. There was heavy fighting at Najafgarh, but the sepoys were routed and the siege train moved towards Delhi. When the defeated man reached the city, there was despair everywhere. People went round saying, "We have lost the chance. Now the Angles are too strong to be defeated." Govind shook his head sadly. "Abdul," he said, "the fight for independence started so well, and we had such high hopes, but somewhere along the way we seem to have lost the will to win." Abdul flared up. "What kind of talk is this, Govind? Many a man laid down his life for the cause of freedom." "Of course, the men fought bravely," agreed Govind. "They are still fighting bravely, but there is indiscipline everywhere. There is no unity, and the leaders are busy fighting one another, and not the foreigners. On the other hand, the Angles are becoming stronger than they were, and soon we will be on the defensive." Abdul was troubled. The sage train had reached Delhi, and he was waiting impatiently for the summons to fight. But no call came.